I posted a picture on my story, and I did not know it was going to be controversial. And there was people saying 0 out of 100 stars. There were people saying that's my favorite book ever. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from tailsuppup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
It is officially 2025. So how is your year starting off?
It is very futuristic when you say 2025. It's like thinking about 2015 being 10 years ago, it like blows my mind. And 2025 sounds like we literally should have flying cars.
Yeah, but flying cars are far from reality. But I thought you were going to say that we started off horribly because we both got sick.
2025, yes, has not been the best start because Callan got sick like right after Christmas.
His first fever.
Yeah, he had 101 fever right after Christmas, and then I got sick, and it seemed like Danielle was going to escape the sickness, but we were in Pennsylvania for Christmas, and then when we got home, you got the sickness.
We all got it. My mom, stepdad, cousin, aunt, literally everyone got sick. So that was very sad, but the saddest part was Callan getting his first fever. It was very scary, but we gave him some medicine and it did not come back. So that was very nice. It came and went quickly. He actually overcame it the fastest, and I truly believe it was from breast milk because your body creates what the baby needs, which is so cool that, you know, as he is touching my skin and I'm touching his skin, my body knows what to create to help him fight it, and he overcame it so fast.
And Danny has literally like the world's best immune system. I'll be like get a sickness and I'll be sick for 3 to 5 days or something like that. Danielle gets it and like within 24 hours she's like better. I don't know how like your immune system is so good, but it is.
Yeah.
And so do you think that translates to like Callan through the breast milk? Like it's gonna like help him have a like get better faster?
Yeah, I just think breast milk is magical. Everyone says it's magical. You put it on a cut and it gets better like that day, and you can bathe in it. You obviously drink it. And
how much breast milk do you have to bathe in it?
Well, I mean, we have a lot in the freezer, so what are we going to do with it? Maybe we'll bathe him in it.
Oh my gosh, that would be...
Not the whole tub. You will put like a little bit in with the water.
Yeah. I'm just imagining an entire bathtub full of breast milk. That would be hours and hours, days of pumping.
Okay, the other fun thing that is all the rage right now, rage is Wicked. And I got Nick to watch it with me. So I really wanted to see Wicked, but we did not know how we were going to go into the theaters with a baby. And so we did not get to see Wicked, and surprisingly came out in home viewings very quickly.
Like while it was still in theaters.
I don't know why they did that, but maybe there was enough of us millennial moms who were like, we want to watch it too. So it did cost $30, but it would have cost that to go see it in the theater.
Or more.
So I told Nick it was worth it. And did you like it?
It was... I didn't know anything about Wicked going into it. I feel like the cinematography was really good. Like the acting was good. The singing was really good. But like, it's just not like my style per se. And what the heck? I really don't like it. It's fine if I knew it going into it, but I didn't know it was one of those like part one things and there's going to be another movie. So I was like really not happy at the end when it was like, I thought I was going to get this like great finish to the movie, which it was fine finish, but like I guess, climactic scenes or whatever are going to be coming in the next movie. I feel like nothing that crazy happened till, just a little bit at the end. And then it's like part one.
So are you going to watch the second part?
Well, I feel like I have to now.
I think if you watched it again, you would understand a lot more. You would see a lot more. Like there was so much going on. It was very interactive. I feel like for the first time, we were just trying to see it, and now I feel like we would understand it more if we rewatched it.
From a storytelling perspective, I definitely felt lost at times as someone that literally knew nothing going into it, so that was kind of tough. I probably would pick up a lot more the second time through, but yeah, it was like I was like, what's really going on?
Yeah, I loved it, and I do think if I rewatched it, I would even see more than I saw the first time. I think it was very well done. And I just was a kid who grew up, went to the play, loved the music, and now it's so cool that they made a movie. And it's actually shocking that it took so long for them to make a movie.
Well, back to your first question. Besides the sickness, I feel like the year is going pretty good so far. Now that like we're getting back into the swing of things, I
One
feel like
weekend.
yeah, I feel like that's all I can only answer with the information that I have. And 7 days into 2025, I would say that it's going pretty good. I feel like we have kind of like a renewed like spring in our step, like tackling 2025, ready to, set all our goals and, tackle the year. Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I'm looking at the books behind you and remembering back when I was hating on your books because of all the orange colors, and now there is one of mine on the shelf. So, yes, I'm adding books to the bookshelf.
No, there's more than one of yours on the shelf.
No,
you just
but
don't...
like one that's like orangey yellow.
Oh.
Like that color. But yeah, I have quite a few books on the shelf now, so I am making way in my reading habits.
Is that something that you really actually think is going to continue in 2025?
I don't know. Yes, I definitely think it will. I just don't know how many I'll get through. My goal is 10. I think that's a great goal.
I'm glad that you actually moved it from 5.
Yeah, I think I can do 10.
You've been reading you're almost done with 1 already.
Yeah, like when I'm into the book, then I really like to sit down and read it, and I want to know what happens next. But the last book, okay, my friend recommended I read A Man Called Ove, and it was so boring to me. I couldn't even finish it. I wanted to push through and finish it because I'm like, I can't abandon, but I had to abandon. It was so boring to me.
What did she say when you told her you abandoned?
She said I'm horrible and I should have finished it, and it's the best book ever.
Well, that's really funny because this friend, one of the books that I really liked, she said it was like a 0 star for her. So it's just funny that like now you're doing that to one of her books. So it's like now she knows how it feels.
I also think it's very interesting. So the book I'm reading right now is Lessons in Chemistry, which I've seen all over. Every time we go to Barnes & Noble, it is everywhere. So it's a very popular book. So I thought that I would read it. I got it from the library on my Kindle, and I was like, you know what? Everyone's talking about it. I'll read it. I posted a picture on my story, and I did not know it was going to be controversial. And there was people saying 0 out of 100 stars. There were people saying that's my favorite book ever. And apparently there's a show about it now. But it is interesting how, before I knew anything, I just thought it was this very popular book when there's actually very controversial opinions about it. And I also think it's very interesting to hear people's opinions on it and why they do or don't like something. For me, I feel like I'll probably portray books like shows, in that like I might not have to agree with it. Like I love Breaking Bad, but I'm not over here cooking illegal drugs. Like it's just entertaining. I feel like I would think that about books too, Like, I don't have to agree with what they're doing. If it's entertaining to me, I can still like it.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely are things that, like, once it gets under, I feel like there's things that once it gets under your skin, it's, like, really hard to like it. So, like, if it really gets under your skin in a bad way, I can totally see you're like, yeah, I'm done with this. Like, I can't help it. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you just, like, it's really hard to change your viewpoint. But if it doesn't, seem to get under your skin that bad, and you can kind of stay, like, as, outside observer or whatever, and just kind of read it through, then that you're not like stuck with hating it the whole time.
And like all things in life, everyone has different preferences, which is always so interesting to me. If I'm like super passionate about something, it's so hard to see the other side. So Nick loves a physical book. You love the feeling of those pages in your hands.
Yeah.
I literally hate it. Like it is so obnoxious in my hand. I'm a Kindle girl. Like I don't know that I would go back to a physical book. I said I have some on the shelf. Ensley gave me some to borrow. I'm going to read those ones because I want to read those books. But for any like future things that I'm going to be getting, I'm going to be like Team Kindle or nothing.
You are like, I feel like in general, you like screens more and things like that. Like,
but I just like the way the Kindle feels in my hand. And also
the way the Kindle feels in your hand?
Yeah, it's light and it's like thin. Like a book is like so bulky in my hand.
Yeah, but you're not, like, you would literally die with the books that I'm reading.
I
like
know.
These giant
I don't know
books.
how you do it. It's so heavy, it's thick, and it's not comfortable in your hand.
I love it.
Also, I don't know if this is, like, super picky of me or if this is a common thing, but when I was reading the physical books, I didn't like how, like, some of the spacings were and, like, the certain fonts that people used. Like, I just want it, like I like on the Kindle, how it's all the same.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that I come across books that have, like, it happens the most in older books. There's some older books that I read from, like, the 1930s and 40s that, like, were printed, and I'm like, I really don't like the print type that they chose, and, like, the spacing is much harder to read. But, like, I feel like most of the modern books are pretty uniform. It's weird that you came across one that was modern that was like that.
Another controversial opinion that actually your mom brought up, and we've had people say this. Nick was talking about how many books he read this past year, and Nick counts audiobooks. So that's the question of the day. If you're listening, do you count your audiobooks as books that you've read? Personally, I do understand where people are coming from of like you didn't sit down and use your eyeballs to read it, but you retained the information from it. So to me, I still think it should count as reading a book.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the idea that I take. Is like if I didn't use my eyeballs, but I used my ears. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we both still got the same information.
But ears is not reading a book.
Yeah.
It's consuming a book.
So like reading is like it's happening. All of it's happening in the brain. One is using eyeballs. Eyeballs isn't reading. You know?
Eyeballs is reading.
How is you're looking?
To read.
So
if I use your eyeballs to.
Yeah. So no, but like if I'm like when you're reading something that's happening in the brain, like if I'm looking at like a plant, I'm not reading the plant. You know, you're reading the words in your brain, and so you're listening. Like all the transcription is happening in the brain, so it's not happening with the eyes per se. That's the method that's getting it to the brain, but your ears is the method that's getting it to the brain, just like the audio. You know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I don't know what the right answer is.
Some people get really angry about it, and I don't know why.
Because they're jealous.
Why are they jealous?
Because they didn't have time to listen to all those books. I don't know. This is just me playing devil's advocate.
Like they're saying that like you actually couldn't have read that many books if you didn't listen to some of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing that I really do, Danielle hates this about me, but it is a toxic trait of mine. I really like when I have a book that I'm physically reading and I have the audio book.
Yeah, you don't need 2 copies. You pick one and that's what
I don't do that often, but there are some that I do that for.
Yeah, that's unnecessary.
I really enjoy that. One thing I actually tried for the first time is I tried putting the audiobook on with the physical book in front of me and I was reading it while it was talking. That actually was crazy with how fast you could bump up the speed to like you read so much faster than like I would listen to an audiobook, which is really crazy.
I don't think I would.
After this we'll try it and see what you think. It is crazy how like it, you know, you read faster than you think, I would say. And I still feel like I read slow. So that's pretty nuts.
Have you started tackling any of your goals for 2025?
Well, my reading goal, yes, I have started tackling. I've started tackling my workout goals of, you know, classes attended. Mm-hmm. And so one thing that is on my to-do list in the next week is I really want to like kind of finalize on like a sticky note, like, you know, just maybe like my top 5 goals for the year. And once I do that, then I'll be able to answer that question a little bit better.
I saw a viral video and it was literally, if anyone were to be that, it would be you. And this girl posted that her boyfriend or husband rented out a room in the library to plan their 2025 and budgeting goals, life goals, work goals, all that stuff. And they had like the giant whiteboard and they were writing it out. And I was like, if anyone were to do that, that would so be you.
No, that is definitely right. I mean, I've started to think about that, but I do want to like actually spend like an hour or two like mapping out my year in a way to like what I'm going to accomplish. Because if like you don't have kind of that roadmap, then it's really easy to just get like bogged down in like all the day-to-day stuff or whatever and like kind of not know the destination that you're trying to get to. The hardest thing that I have for that is like the business stuff is like I don't know what concrete goals to pick for business. Like should I pick a revenue goal or like I just don't know what to do for that. So that's kind of where I've been stuck and why I've kind of been putting it off.
Mm-hmm. I accomplished a goal today of not only attending a workout class, but trying something new and something that I've been hesitant to try because I knew I was going to be embarrassed and other people were going to see me fail. And that is doing double unders because
Well, explain what a double under is for anyone that doesn't know.
It is using a jump rope to spin it 2 times in one jump.
So like normal
description?
Yeah, everyone knows like jumping rope like normally when you jump rope, it goes under your feet every time, right? But instead, you do a jump and you swing the rope twice under your feet before you hit the ground.
I couldn't even comprehend how you could move your wrists in that way to get it to move 2 times in the time that you're up in the air 1 time. It just like, to me, I just was like, there's no way. And you're going to have to try it and you're going to fail and other people are going to watch you do it and fail. And I'm like fine to laugh at myself if other people are going to like laugh with me. But if I'm the only one laughing, that's like embarrassing. So I did it anyways. That's the moral of the story.
I don't feel like anyone at our gym would like laugh at you in a bad way.
No, they wouldn't. But like to me, like if I was like, oh my gosh, I tried it and I didn't do it. Like if I couldn't look up and laugh at you like about it and I'm by myself, like that's more embarrassing for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I did it anyways. And I ended up conquering. So it gave me encouragement to be okay to move forward and fail again because then you grow from it.
Yeah. Well, our gym is doing a really cool thing where they've picked 3 exercises for us to do, like, and we have a month to like PR on these things. And so they're pull-ups, front squats, and the double unders. And so I think we're doing them all at least twice a week. So if you go to all the classes, you'll do them at least twice a week. And they have like these progress trackers where you write like, this is week 1. So we're all writing like our stuff down. And then hopefully by the end of the month, you'll see your progress that you've made.
I feel like if you're listening, even if you're not working out in your life, that's a good structure to try to implement in trying something and sticking with it and seeing how you progress. Is pick something, create your own tracker, do it twice a week or once a week, depending on what your goal is, and then track as you do that week after week for a few weeks, and then you can see how far you progress.
Yeah, that is actually one thing that is so crazy is it's so easy to forget where you started if you don't track the progress. Like if you start lifting weights, for instance, and then like you get, a year into your journey of doing that, and then like you're stuck at this like certain amount of weight and you're like kind of getting down on yourself, you have to remember where you came from. If you didn't write that number down, it's very easy to kind of just like, a recency bias, and you'll think to like your last weight and you'll be like, I've been stuck at this for so long, why am I so weak or whatever? And you're just like, but you started way, way lower than that. You have to remember where you started.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get caught up in where you are now, and you have to look back and see where you came from. And the best way to do that is either photos, videos, or writing it down.
And I mean, I definitely also fall into like the comparison game. Like there's guys at the gym that like will be like with the bench press stuff, like throwing up way more weight than I can do. And like, I'll try it and like, they'll be doing like 10 of them and I can barely get 1 with that weight. And it's just like, dang it.
It's hard to not compare yourself in all aspects of life.
Yeah. But I think the most important thing is like you're pushing yourself for your limit. Mm-hmm. But no, I am definitely excited to like turn the page on a new year. 2024 wasn't like an overall bad year. I mean, it was so exciting to like have Callan and like there was so much great stuff that happened, but like it was just a weird year in general. And so like it's kind of nice, like I feel like closing the book on that year, even though like it's all arbitrary, like that it's not arbitrary that it's a new year, but like, you could have made that mental shift whenever you wanted. And now it's like, but now we have 2025 and it's like close the book on 2024, like look forward to all the new stuff in 2025. So I'm kind of enjoying that like mental shift.
What are some other things you've been loving recently?
Well, like on a personal note, it's been so cool to see Callan progress. Like he is at that like age where it feels like he's doing like a brand new thing almost every day. Even like before Christmas, he barely could sit up and like maybe just for a few seconds. Now there's times where like he'll sit up for like over a full minute on his own. He can stand up like holding on to something on his own. He's getting in the crawling position.
He's a man with a goal and he is going to do it. I think he's so bored just like not doing anything, and now he understands that if he sits or stands, he can play with toys, he can see the world, he can be on the move. And so now he's like pretty determined, and it's so crazy that someone that young can comprehend that. Like I just never would have thought that a 4-month-old, almost 5-month-old could even understand those concepts. But when you watch his eyes and his brain moving, it's so cool because I just never would have thought that.
Yeah, he definitely like sees it and like wants to go after it.
He It's just so like weird. I just didn't think like a baby that young would know to dump something over so that it can get a toy out, or that it can reach up and grab something, and like the cause and effect. I just didn't think that that would happen at that young of an age.
Yes, it's hard to know like actually what's going on in his brain. Like I don't know that he's like actually putting all those dots together, but regardless, the result is that.
Yeah. I also think, talking about comparison of us in the gym and stuff like that, it's so interesting how just by posting photos and videos, other moms compare where their kid is or was to our kid. And I would just say that what Callan is doing is not normal, and definitely you do not need to compare kids to our kid to your kid or whatever, because everyone's different. Everyone develops at different times. And just because he can sit up earlier doesn't mean that he's going to be the next Einstein, you know?
Yeah, there have been a few moms that have like, it's kind of like they seemed like they've been down when they're like, wow, he's doing that and my kid's not.
Yeah. And I understand it, because like maybe they want that. For me, like I want Callan to sit up because I know that he wants to do it so badly. So like it's going to bring me joy seeing how joyful he is. But, you know, everyone just learns at their different paces. And also, like, some people say it's not good to do things this quickly because this and that. But we did contact our pediatrician, and they said, like, based on his height and weight and all the things, he's fine to do it. So I'm not worried about that. But
yeah, it is not us pushing him to do these things. He is like demanding to do these things.
Yeah, I'm like, if he shouldn't be standing, I can't stop him, because
yeah, he's like
really wants to.
He's like pulling up and doing everything he can to stand up. Like, it's so funny and cute.
So now the question is, if you could predict, when do you think he's gonna walk?
I mean, it's so hard to know. I think the biggest question with that is like, if he crawls first, is that going to end up delaying his walking? I feel like not, because he definitely seems to have a preference for wanting to stand on his feet. But like, if he's able to move around and crawl, like giving him mobility, is that going to like, he's going to just choose to do that no matter what for a while? I don't know. I think it's going to be between 8 and 9 months. I think he's going to be an early walker, and that would be my guess. What about you?
I definitely agree. I will be shocked if he goes backwards in, like crawling, stopping him, or he just doesn't seem to have fear. I don't think the fear of falling over is going to stop him, because he'll be okay if he falls over. The biggest problem could be me. Like, if I don't want him to fall and trying to always catch him or prevent him from doing those things. Sometimes you have to learn from them, but I don't think he's at that age where he could understand a consequence. So it's kind of battling him learning, but also knowing that he isn't capable of learning those things yet.
Yeah, I mean, he would definitely like throw himself off the couch.
Yes. I think it's interesting too, just like allowing him to do things, like if he wants to try to pull himself up, letting him, but also being there to catch him so that he doesn't fall, and just like allowing him to play with different toys. And I saw a video that was really interesting. It was like providing different environments for your kid to like experiment and like test out. So we've been trying to do that more by like putting a couch cushion on the ground or giving him a pillow. A lot of people use the boppy to prop them up. The boppy for us isn't really working to like help him sit up, because it just moves. But I don't know how people do
The other
that.
thing, like with the different locations, is he sometimes starts to get frustrated in a location, and then like if you move him to a different location, even if he's doing like the same stuff, like he like gets happy again and is like kind of likes the scenery change, which makes sense.
This is totally different topic, but I wanted to talk about like hobbies that we wanted to try, because I know we've talked multiple times about scrapbooking. That's definitely on my 2025 things I'd like to do. Not only just for myself and getting in that creative outlet, but I want to have that for Callan. I feel like we take so many fun photos, and I would love to have like a keepsake hardcover thing for him to have, because my mom made those for me as a kid, and I love looking back on them. And I do think that boys probably care less about that stuff, but then I think about you, and you love looking at your old photos.
Yeah,
so
it's really cool, particularly like when it's put in like an album, or like you've kind of made a point to like what the scrapbook is about.
yeah, so that's definitely one of my hobbies I would like to do. I'm definitely working on my personal social media, because I get so many questions of like, especially baking and bread baking. I know sourdough was like so popular in 2024. And so now that I'm sharing like my bread baking that's not sourdough, bread baking that's not sourdough is much more attainable for the average human being. Sourdough is very time consuming, and you have to have a starter, where I am milling my own flour, but you don't have to do that. If you just buy flour, you can still make your own bread. So I want to share more content on that and just the mom side of things. I know tailsuppup has really taken a shift of dog and mom content, but I specifically, like this week, I shared my travel information and what it was like traveling with a baby, and I got so many people saying how helpful it was because they're going to travel with their baby soon. And so like that's so rewarding to have like, you know, feedback and know that I'm able to provide something that's helpful to someone else. So I want to do more of that in 2025.
Well, like at the end of 2024, like we were talking about, like looking to 2025 and coming up with more like creative outlets that we can have. And I think one of particularly you, like social media is a creative expression. And so most of the time we're putting your creative energy into like tailsuppup and Simply Sweet Pea. And not that you're not going to be doing that anymore, but like I think now looking at more of your hobbies and fun social or fun things that you do, sharing it on your personal social media is going to be a cool way for you to like express different like, you know, creative sides and that type of stuff. And it's nice because social media gives you that feedback and things like that, which is cool.
Do you have any hobbies?
Well,
New hobbies.
I'm wanting to write more in 2025.
Ooh.
So I'm like dabbling with writing a book. And so just like for fun for me, but that's something that like I want to keep up with. I've been writing some and like I think that might be on my 2025 goal. So
that's very exciting.
Where I'm still trying to decide that if I'm going to actually make that a goal, because like it's very time consuming to like write a full book.
But that can be your goal, and know that you're not going to do start to finish. You can say like I want to write a book, and just starting it is even like establishing that.
I know. I guess what I more mean is like I don't want to put it as a goal if I don't think I'm going to be able to accomplish it.
Sometimes you got to.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm still deciding, but I think that's going to be one. So, like, of course, my working out, my reading, things like that. But I think, yeah, maybe writing a book could be fun. That would be like a really cool, like, creative outlet for me.
For sure.
It's definitely not something that I'm trying to write a book to like publish and things like that. It's like a hobby that is like, you know, I've always enjoyed like journaling and, you know, writing my thoughts, whatever. And I feel like a book could be a cool way to like put it in a more cohesive manner.
Could you put it online for like people to read without having to like publish it, or is that not a thing?
I don't know. I'm sure. I mean, you can probably do whatever you want.
The world is your oyster.
I've also thought like as far as like from the writing standpoint, it could be cool to like write more, whether it's blog posts or articles, just about like different like topics that like I'm interested in, you know, whether that's business related or it literally could be like anything that I'm interested in, and like more like short form writing stuff. So I don't know which direction I'll take that in, but like I want to spend more time like, you know, sitting down and coming up with organized thoughts and writing them down.
Well, I thought this would be a fun, casual, chit-chatty, just, you know, podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. Did you enjoy this, Nick?
Yeah, this is fun. I really didn't know like what like we were going to be talking about when we sat down. So.
I just love listening to podcasts like this where it's not super structured and it's just kind of chit-chatty. So I enjoyed it. If you guys ever have any podcast topic ideas, send me a DM. We would be happy to bring them to life, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.